Hello friends, welcome to our channel Contemporary Literary Review India. In today's interview, I am with Dr. Dalip Khetarpal, who has more than 30 years of experience of teaching at Govt Technical College. He authored 12 poetry anthologies and one book in prose on pain, medical science, religion, and mysticism. Currently, he is working as a reviewer, critic, poet, short story writer, and the editor-in-chief of the Poetry Society of India. He has written more than 300 reviews and criticism on various prominent poets and writers. He also works as one of the editors with Contemporary Literary Review India and is a co-editor and columnist with Contemporary Vibes. He has received various national and international awards in recognition of his contribution to literature. He started a new genre in poetry writing by synthesizing various arts, sciences, including medical science and psychiatry. He is an advisor for World Foundation of Peace, Italy. Welcome, Dr. Dalip Khetarpal, to our show. So it is nice to have you in our on our channel.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good morning.
Yes, very good morning. So I welcome on behalf of all my viewers and readers. So in this interview will be just like discussion rather than interview. Okay. So can you focus some light on importance of poetry for the readers? Means not from writing point of view per se, but how it is important for the readers or general people who do not write, rather they read or listen to poems or something like that.
Yes, it is important for the readers because poetry makes emotions and passions more refined, number one. Number two, it appeals to the soul of, of the readers. Straight, it touches the soul directly. Prose will not touch your soul.
Okay.
And it is the earliest aesthetic creation of the human mind. Every religion is written in a poetic form, if you know it. Every religion, every verse of all religions and in poetic form. Why? Because it has to appeal to the emotions, to the soul of the readers. So, and at the same time, ideas are communicated through poetry more effectively, more convincingly, and more persuasively. There's an element of persuasion. And ultimately, of course, it has cathartic effect, as Aristotle said, catharsis is affected.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that is, poetry is important throughout the world, and it has been a universal feature since the creation of this world.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Highlight blank, like the topic of blank verse. Okay. So
Blank verse, enables the free flow of your thoughts. Blank verse.
Okay.
In a sense that, suppose, if there is rhyming in your mind, then you may be forfeiting certain very good ideas, which can be used in the place of rhyme to rhyme. So rhyming is not important for me because that stakes your ideas. It puts your ideas at stake. I don't leave it rhyming, as I told you earlier also. So for the free flow of ideas, for spontaneity, to maintain spontaneity, blank verse is important. So rhyming restricts, the flow of ideas.
Okay.
It sounds good. It sounds musical. It is good for children because children like music, It is easy to teach them also. It's enjoyable to teach them also, in a musical form. Okay. It's for children. It's good for kids, for nursery children.
Okay. I would like to add means another angle, like it is very difficult, particularly for the people whose English is the second language. So, Miss, your view?
Yes, you are right. Because you are only more comfortable with your mother tongue. Because you have been speaking your mother tongue since your childhood, since you were born. So you are more comfortable with it. And all thoughts, all nuances, all shades of thoughts can be expressed only through your mother language. Because English is an acquired language, it is not our natural language. So sometimes, we also feel that we are unable to convey certain delicate thoughts and feelings, subtle thoughts and feelings. So it should be in mother tongue. But because it is an international language, and because people have a craze for it, so it has become, fashionable, to speak in English, to write in English. I mean, but it's not a very effective source of communication, I would say.
Okay.
Your mother tongue is the only effective source of.
Okay. In one of the interviews, okay, I was talking with Dr. Jarnail Singh. He highlighted one important point, and that was minimum support price, that is MSP, as farmers are given. So he argued that poets and writers should be given such kind of remunerative reward to the poets. What is your thought?
Yes, that is being done, that is being given, but for established poets only. But for most poets, writing poetry can be a passion, not profession. You have to be very established,
Okay.
For that, I mean, of course, we have very few established poets. I don't need to name any also.
So, Miss,
People
do you have,
automatically buy their
do you,
books.
okay, do you
Their books
support
are,
the idea like poets or writers should be supported
first of all,
monetarily?
assess yourself objectively as to whether you are capable of rising to that heights, If you are capable of rising to those heights, of course, then money will automatically come to you. People will buy your books. People will host you in various programs. Many organizations, will encash you and this and that. But you should be very established.
That would be difficult, I think, and it may take
Because
time, right?
it's going to be very difficult. Yes, it can be a passion only, not profession. That's all. Yes. Because to feed yourself, to feed your family, you have to do something else. Poetry will not feed you these days.
I suggested one idea, like every college or at least university should create some chairs, okay, for poets or writers, and on rotation basis, some leading writers should be given those chairs, and for some certain period, like 1 year or 2 years, something like that. And
yes,
because of holding that position, they should be given some remuneration, something like that.
Yes, that is true. It's very logical and it's very feasible also, no doubt. But it is not possible because people think that poetry has no practical value. It has no it does not serve any practical purpose. That is the point. So why should any prize be awarded, to a poet? That is a point also. And very few people read poetry. Very few people. People are not fascinated by poetry. There's nothing in this, it will not help our life, to run smoothly. It will not make us earn more also, I mean, something very abstract, There's a perception of people. Because of such a perception that, poets have no value, much value these days, honestly speaking. Unless you are very, very established.
True.
Very, very well known.
See, yeah,
But
you are
right.
Yes.
Something should be given to motivate them. Something should be given. Of course, I do feel that also because they work very hard day and night, I mean, to write a poem, to create something. I mean, from language point of view, from a thoughts point of view, they have to organize their loose thoughts, and make it into a compact whole. I mean, it takes a lot of mental labor also, to do all these.
Now you are actually raising one of the very.
I'm not being self-contradictory. I am talking about my subconscious mind.
Okay.
They should be given something that motivates them, that makes them, go ahead with the writing. But at the same time, it won't be possible. It may be possible, in a particular sphere only, in some limited area only.
Okay.
But not everywhere.
Actually, you are raising one point, okay, where I say that actually writers and poets are custodian of language by producing literature, because and typically almost every government, particularly state governments in India, fights or talks too much about like love, extra love. In fact, they show extra love to language, something like that, in their local language, like Bengali language or Punjabi language or Telugu language or Tamil language or say Marathi language.
Just to
These
create effect.
right. Actually, these governments or there are several political parties as well or leaders as well who show too much love to their language, right? And they are right in their ways. But at the same time, people like me advocate that literature actually supports longevity of language, any language, right? If there is no literature, their language cannot sustain on its own. Okay.
Exactly.
For example, there are several languages and there are sub parts of those languages. We say dialect or something like that. They are dialect until there is no good amount of literature created by those people or by in that language, right?
Exactly.
So I believe that poets and writers are the custodian of language by way of creating literature. Okay, because they create literature, so
I
language
agree
can
with you.
sustain for longer. Okay, so as many as writers are there, as many writers contribute literature in that language, so longevity of that language will be maintained or will go on. Okay.
You're right. I agree with you. Yes. Because, literature is the main fountainhead web from language springs, I should say. You're right. Except there are new disciplines, medical sciences. They also do have language, but their language is, of course, different. Like every discipline has its own language. Science has its own language. Technology has its own language. But nevertheless, the fact still remains that the main language springs from literature. Then it assumes various shapes in various disciplines.
So in that case, these political parties or governments should actually support by giving this minimum support
Yes,
price to
it
the
is a
writers.
neglected, yes, it's a neglected community. Neglected, rejected, frustrated community. When you're rejected, neglected, you feel frustrated also.
Okay, okay, okay.
And
Nice.
because of this frustration, that you write good poetry.
Very true.
No good
Very
poetry
true.
without sadness, without sorrow, without frustration.
Okay,
That makes you a
okay.
better poet also because of the frustration and sadness they create in you.
True, true.
You become more poetic. If they make you happy, if they award you, with many awards, then of course, then you will lose your creativity.
Okay, that's
It's
also
paradoxical.
a good point. Yes, yes, right. So you said like you have written some book that is on medicine, and you,
Yeah,
I think you titled it Placebo, something like that. Is it?
yeah,
So what is that book about, or what
yeah.
that book talks
I
about?
have a book before me. The definition, first of all, let me define what placebo is. Placebo is a Latin word meaning I shall please. I shall please only. Mentally please. Just to please you mentally. Please it does, as evidenced by many studies. Originally, this word was used in 1811 to define any medicine adapted more to please than to really cure the patient. It does not cure, it only pleases the patient. So that is the meaning of placebo. So, but then at the same time, because placebo, that fake medicine, instead of pleasing, really has practical effect on the patient. It really cures the patient.
Okay.
It has more effect. It is more effective than the real medicine.
Okay.
So the whole event came to be considered as both biological and psychological. Biological, because it is nothing but it cures. Something concrete but does not cure. So it's very paradoxical, but very interesting also. It fascinates me a lot.
Even doctors believe that those who are believers in their God or religion, something like that, they get
Yes.
cured very fast, right? And those
Yes.
those who do not believe in gods, they take
Yes.
too much time to survive
Like
or cure
yes.
themselves.
Yes. 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 Religious people live longer lives. This has been calculated. Number one, they live longer.
Okay.
Atheists live shorter life.
Oh,
This is also established fact. I can give you the figures,
okay.
facts and figures. Because if I say something, I will talk. I'm going to discuss it on certain concrete basis, not abstractly. Belief is something very powerful. Like in America, some 20 years ago, one man dreamed that he would develop a tail. He dreamed that he would develop a tail. Again, he had the same dream the next day. And he had been dreaming this dream for around 2 years. After 2 years, and he used to feel his back in the morning, that I don't know whether the tail has come out or not. But after 2 years, the real tail came out from his back, 6 inches tail. Your body achieves what your mind believes. Your body achieves what your mind believes. Belief is very powerful. Like I'll tell you. Like I wrote about prayer also. I wrote one sentence because I will prove it. I said that prayer is very good for health only. It's good. Prayer will not guarantee you heaven or hell. Prayer may not pardon your sins also. But you will definitely enjoy good health after prayer or meditation, whatever. Because after prayer, you feel a lot of mental satisfaction. You get a lot of peace, a lot of joy. Your self-confidence level comes up, And when these feelings are combined, in hormone is secreted from your central nervous system and endorphin gland, what you call pituitary gland. That hormone is called endorphin. That is very helpful, health giving, very beneficial for health. So you enjoy good health after prayer. Suppose you are in the habit of praying every day and you don't pray one day. You feel guilty the whole day, and your blood gets drained. Blood gets dried up, just by not praying. It is psychological, but it is practically true. So prayer is really good for health. I could prove it. I wrote it. Because it should not be, of course, it should not pardon your sins. Because if it can pardon your sins, you will commit sin every day. You will sin every day. You will seek forgiveness against sin. Seek forgiveness, sin. So criminals will, have a better way, to commit crime. So it's good about it. So belief is very powerful. It is your spirit, your belief that makes you do so many things, do so many impossible things, which you are not capable of really doing without faith or belief. Like Hindus believe that suppose you go out in the cold in the morning without wearing much clothes, you will start sneezing, you will catch cold. But in the month of January, people go to Vaishno Devi, Mata Vaishno Devi, and they take the bath in the cold water on the topmost hill, and nothing happens to them. Why? Because they were full of joy at that time, full of the faith operates very strongly. Euphoria, we call it. At that time, the inner chemistry works so positively that various positive secretions take place in the body. That nothing happens, they won't fall ill, they won't cough, they won't sneeze, they won't fall sick, nothing will happen to them. So, not that the goddess is blessing them. In Hindi, we say, Mata ki kirpa ho gayi, it's the blessings of Mata. No, Mata, we don't know where Mata is, but definitely that is false. That is a false opinion. The reality is that the inner workings, work so forcefully, so strongly, and so positively that nothing can happen to them in a chemistry. So that is a point. So I can name those secretions also which take place at that time. So it's all scientific, it's all biological. And as I told you about Muslims also in Muharram and Christians also during Easter Day, Good Friday, you know that, they whip themselves, just to reenact the crucifixion of Christ. The pain that Christ felt also should be felt by them so that they realize the suffering of Christ in a better way, more effectively, in a powerful way. But then they have not realized that the medical benefits they are getting from that, from this ritual. It's a ritual. Muslims also have not realized this. The medical benefits they are getting. It's a moment of blessedness, oh, you see heaven. Very few people know this.
True.
Like there are many rituals like female genital mutilation. In India, female genital mutilation. This takes place in India and other South Asian countries, and also in countries like Thailand during annual vegetarian festival. Then self-flagellation. That's whipping oneself.
Okay.
I told you. Then that's one impaling. Impaling is to push a sharp object, or weapon inside your body. It's a belief. Then there's baby tossing also. You throw your baby from the roof and someone catches from below. It's supposed to be a sign of good luck. This risky ritual, which takes place only in India, has been practiced for the past 700 years. Hindu communities in South Asia, specifically the state of Karnataka, it's supposed to bring luck to the community. It is also believed that issueless couples will have issues. And they do have issues, surprisingly. So there is no scientific basis. Then there's finger amputation. You cut your fingers. This is just another insane, it seems insane cultural ritual banned. This is banned, but still practiced. Portion of one's finger is chopped off. It's practiced in Dani tribe of Indonesia and Japan by Yakuza, a prominent Japanese criminal organization. Then there is fire working on hot coals. You know that. I don't need to elaborate it. Then there is human sacrifice also. You know that. This is also a ritual. This is in practice since ages and sadly still exists in many parts of the world today. As an offering to God, it is practiced in some parts of India and Africa to express their gratitude towards God. All these acts that seem stupid and nonsensical have various health benefits in the form of release of endorphins, oxytocin, dopamine, etc. But they are imperceptible to those absorbed in these acts. Even these acts, which are so nonsensical and superstitious, have medical benefits.
Okay.
This is the belief system, as I told you, it's very powerful. So this is a subject that fascinates me very much.
Okay.
Because many things we find, we take it as a mere nonsense. But they are full of sense. But that sense is imperceptible. I've tried to bring to light those things, those benefits, those sensical things, which are hidden. So there's a point. But I did a lot of study for that, Okay. And there are many things, of which people are ignorant, like mesmerism. Mesmerism, mesmerism? Mesmerism. So there was one in 17th century, Franz Anton Mesmer. He was a German physician.
Okay.
He lived in Vienna. He believed that mesmerism and hypnotism, of course, are two techniques used by practitioners to create a trance-like state in a person. They are used in psychology by psychologists to relieve patients from various psychological conditions. So Mesmer believed that every individual had magnetic fluid flowing through channels throughout his body, and that blockages of this flow, the flow of this liquid could cause emotional or physical disease.
Okay.
By manipulating this fluid with magnets, one could manipulate the body into being well again. So a universal cure for any disease. The natural balance of body could be restored by magnetizing its force. both. So this is a belief, but this has been proved false. There's no mesmeric fluid flows in our body. There's nothing like that.
Okay.
The latest research says this. People are still of the opinion it is true, but it is not wrong. Then there's another false belief also. There's one Alicia Perkins of 17th century. He introduced Parkinsonism. Parkinson is a disease, you know that?
Right.
Yeah. It's a progressive neurodegenerative disease leading to motor deficits, mainly in the form of tremor, rigidity, bradykinesia, gait impairment. Your body gets impaired. You cannot move. Your body becomes shaky. You cannot move smoothly. So it shows. He says that the infective pathogens may act as a trigger for Parkinson's disease. So this is also a wrong opinion, because it is, of course, it may be right to a certain extent also. It is not completely true, because at that time Parkinsonism was cured by the two metal rods. He invented two metal rods. But when two wooden rods were used instead of that, that created better effect. So the fake treatment is better than the real treatment. So the real treatment is reduced to zero then. Okay. Then we have sham homeopathy. Homeopathy, you know, all of us know. It's a novel therapeutic approach, pseudo-scientific system of alternative medicine. It was introduced in the late 18th century by Friedrich Samuel Hahnemann. Placebo was more effective than real but then at the same time, he also said that this is not a medicine, it is not a sugar pill, but creates psychology. In fact, I quoted him also. Okay. But then people buy 10 paisa sugar for 800 rupees. Sugar pill and nothing else. Because they say, patients say that it has no side effect. But my common sense says, when there is no effect, when it is nothing, just water, how will it have side effects? First of all, it should have effect, then it will have side effects. When there is no effect, how can there be side effects? Then people also say that we get relief, you know, over it takes time, but one gets relief after some time. After some time, your immune system, your antibodies, you know, build up and you get well also. So this is not a medicine at all. If you mix with steroid, then make it effective. That's a different, but steroid is very harmful. Likewise, acupuncture is very good in relieving pain or discomfort. Now, various trials have taken place. Like you take 50 patients and put them on real acupuncture. The result will be 35 patients will. But in fake acupuncture, 48 will be well out of 50. Fake. That is placebo. Fake is placebo. In that, you know, in the what we call fake acupuncture, there's no, real needle prick. Some needle like instrument will be shown to the patient, and there'll be a prick only. It won't penetrate your body. Just touching, it's just tap your body and nothing else. But the real feelings, you know, that you are being treated, you know, by acupuncture, by this sense, you know, inputs to your brain via skin receptors, by touching your body. Just the mere tap, you know, will make you feel that you are being treated, and your skin receptors send signals to your brain, and you feel relieved. Fake always has produced, fake acupuncture always produced better results than real acupuncture. Okay. So that is also fake. Real is more fake than fake, but people still go in for that. They pay a lot of money for acupuncture. Right. And many tests have taken place, many experiments have taken place. Okay. People do not know, because acupuncturists have to thrive, have to earn, have to enjoy their life, you know, by doing nothing. So people, I feel, are living in the world of illusions, and these are basic things which all should know. This is what I feel. Well, I want to bring this world from darkness to light and nothing else. They should know some basic things of life. They should know that they are under illusion in various matters. That's all and nothing else. True. So that is the thing. Okay. So belief is very powerful. Taking a placebo, that is medicine, triggers endorphins. One of the several substances made in the body that can relieve pain and give a feeling of well-being also. Like you have 102 temperature at home, You check with a thermometer, you go to a doctor. Then when you go to a doctor, you have a different atmosphere. Cues, we call it, there's a smell of medicines and doctors and patients. And you feel much relieved that now he is really going to, he will come before you smilingly with a white coat and stethoscope hung around his neck. You feel so relieved by seeing him that now he is going to cure my sickness. When he checks you with his thermometer, it will be 100. Two will be vanished. Two will vanish. Because of your feeling, that you, of this, because of that feeling. This is again scientific, it's not superstitious. So that is placebo. That is placebo. So placebo has a lot of role to play,
Okay.
in every field of life, even in science. Then the most interesting thing is, I talk about transhumanism. You know transhumanism? Have you heard about transhumanism? Transhumanism. You have not heard. It's very interesting. Well, this word was first used by Julian Huxley. He's a brother of Aldous Huxley. You must have heard about this. He wrote the book named Brave New World. He got a Nobel Prize in 1932. Aldous Huxley. It depicted a future in which universal happiness is only achieved by thoroughly dehumanizing humanity. Dehumanizing humanity. Then universal happiness can be achieved. Julian Huxley was a distinguished biologist. He coined this term, transhumanism. That is, you want to transcend your present limitations.
Okay.
It is human nature. It is in our DNA itself. Like you want to grow every day. Human being is dynamic by nature. You want to grow every day. Because a child who knows nothing about transhumanism will watch a cartoon, wants to be Superman, Spider-Man, Batman, wants to fly, wants to do things which are impossible. There's a feeling in him. Means he wants to transcend his limitations. It is with older people also. Right? So this is something which is a new theory and which is very good also for the growth of mankind. It's very good for the growth of mankind. Because in America, there's a doctor, I don't remember his name. He has made a medicine by which one can live 180 years, guaranteed.
Okay.
Now he has another medicine through which one can live for 250 years. Right? The medicine is there. I have to look for it,
Okay.
So, I mean, even in religion, there is transhumanism. Like when you meditate, you want to rise above your physical self and enter the spiritual world. Transcendence is there.
Right.
Transcendence is there in religion also. You want to transcend your present limitations. Now, how this is related to placebo is again interesting. This is what I discovered, Like I concluded it with that. Now, in spite of everything, going back to the very elemental side of placebo, one finds that from this very desire to release our suppressed aspirations, this very thought and feeling to rise above our present limitations, to improve the current human condition, emanates unprecedented energy and happy hormones like dopamine, endorphins, etc., due to its strong wave of love for new ventures, renewed hope, joy, thrill, curiosity, and optimism, even though expected results or achievements may be the reverse. But in the process of trying yourself to rise, attempting to rise. So these secretions take place, which are very good for health. They are placebos. Hence, one has to accept the fact that placebo reigns supreme in almost all conceivable spheres of life, giving rise to the succinct phrase, triggering the placebo effect, known in popular parlance. So this was the research. So there's placebo everywhere. There's placebo. Everywhere there's placebo.
Okay. Thank you for sharing your ideas. It was interesting to know all about this. Okay. Thank you for watching us. Don't forget to subscribe to us to watch more videos on books and authors.